So I actually started trading in 2016, dude. So I was in a corporate job selling real estate, and one of the senior guys in the office, I walked past his computer one day, bro, and he was trading. And I looked at him and I was like, and I'd never seen, like, I knew what financial markets were, but when you see the candlesticks and all that sort of stuff, flashing lights, I was like, far out, man. What's this guy even doing? He's about to, he's about to rocket off to Mars. And then I said, what are you actually doing? Like, he's like, dude, I make like 500, $600 a day trading. And I was like, bullshit. I didn't believe it because because at that time I was only making like maybe 2,200 a month or something, like real low. Because this guy wasn't trading crypto, he was trading like stocks and futures and stuff. But basically, when I went home to research, I found a lot more interest in like, because like crypto was such a new market at this time. Like there were all these coins going up 40, 50%. Like in 2016, dude, it was completely different to how it is now, right? Like you could literally put 50, $60 on something, wake up in the morning and you're up $200, $300. You know what I mean? So when I started researching trading and I saw crypto, I instantly started an account on, what was it called? Bittrex. It was like one of the first exchanges. It's not even fucking around anymore, bro. Like they went under. Um, but so I opened an account on Bittrex and then I was like, dude, like I need to actually buy, like I need to on ramp like funds into crypto. So what I actually did was started an FXCM account. So I did actually place my first ever trade in Forex, but then I quickly came back to crypto. So crypto is essentially what I made my first broker account on, but my first ever trade was FXCM. I don't remember what it was, but I funded it with like $250 and just started gambling, bro. So for sure, for sure. From there, bro, I ended up just like literally just self-taught through YouTube. And look, funnily enough, man, like we'll probably get to this a little bit later, but one of the first proper educators that I started watching was Main and Cred. Um, like I remember watching Cred's risk management, like 1 hour fucking YouTube video in like 2017 maybe, and that's when I really started because when you're in the markets early, you just start like buying and selling. You don't really have a strategy, and then I was seeing some success, started putting more money into crypto, and then I started seeing my funds go up, and I was like, okay, I'm actually going to start taking this shit serious now. So 2016, obviously very unprofitable trader, bro. Like just gambling and all this sort of stuff. And then 2017, I really started taking it serious. 2018 was when I had my first profitable quarter. And then I actually started working at I'm here in Sydney, Australia. I started working at an FX place here in Sydney, Australia. So I was on a trading floor and everything like that. So I came from retail, did a little bit of institutional stuff, and then I was like, fuck this, I'm working for myself now. And then went full time end of 2018, dude. For sure. So like how would I describe it? So I'm always trading with the higher time frame trend, but I'm I'm never buying momentum. I'm always looking for like the internal reversal. So I'm always like if I'm going long, I'll always buy discounts, and if I'm going short, I'm always looking premium to short, right? So let's just say you've got a bullish trend. I'm looking for like a dump. I want to fade the massive pullback. That's how I trade. Like I like buying when price is aggressive because I know that people that are shorting that momentum, they're going to have stops in the middle of the range, and that's my target liquidity. You know what I mean? So I'm always looking for some sort of aggressive price pullback, like especially on Bitcoin. Like we're getting these massive ranges, but inside of these ranges, we're getting 3 or 4% candles, and I'm always buying those up if there's like a sweep or reclaim and stuff like that. So we'll talk more about like the intricacy of the actual execution, but put it this way, I trade with the trend, but the internal trend coming into my trading position is always bearish, you know? So like, I know a lot of people out there trade altcoins. I literally just focus on Bitcoin and Ethereum, dude. Like if you guys look at my top traded asset, I think it's literally just BTC USD. Like, and, and I think that's like a good lesson for a lot of people. I feel like the less you focus on, the better a trader you become. Because like crypto, there's obviously thousands of assets you could trade, but I just don't feel like they have the liquidity or the institutional interest like Bitcoin and Ethereum do. So you're always going to have better opportunities trading the top two. You know what I mean? So that's just literally what I stick to, man. Bitcoin and Ethereum. I can't share my screen, can I? Yeah, I got you. I got you. I'll share it just so I can walk people through like what it would actually look like. Let me have a look. All right, can you see the screen or nah? Yeah, yeah. Sweet. So I'm going to explain one A plus setup that I typically make the most profit on, and it's just a simple fucking strategy, but it takes a lot of balls to buy, right? So let's just talk if we're doing it the long side, right? So we've got a bullish market. Market here is obviously ranging, right? I'll talk you through like a setup that I took last week or a few weeks ago. So let's just say we've got like an external low. Let me move this. Let's just say we've got like a major low like this, right? Whoops. And there's heaps of imbalance below price. Like people are looking at this as we're super premium on the higher time frames. Like if we go to the daily on BTC, we're pretty much trading at all-time high, right? But if we go to like a 4 hour, this low here is essentially the last defense before we come down and fill some level of imbalance, right? So the way I like trading is I like thinking, what is the other side of the market looking at? So let's just say someone's looking short. They're obviously waiting for some break of structure, right, to fuel that momentum. They're like, okay, if that structure low breaks, I'm going to go heavy short. What I'm actually looking at is called either a sweep and reclaim or a trap and reclaim. So basically, the trigger of this is I want to see a strong, aggressive candle. Like let's just go to this. I want to see like aggressive price, like I said to you before, either close below and really trap a lot of traders who are looking to go short at this point. But the trigger and the actual thing that makes me execute this trade, the confirmation, is I want to see it get reclaimed very fast. So if we play this, like this candle here that reclaims, bro, that's my entry straight away. So I'm waiting for a 1 hour or a 15-minute close. So let's just say I'm using like a 4 hour for the breaker structure or the trap. I'll always go to a 1 hour for the reclaim candle. So like let's just say we go to a 1 hour. This first reclaim candle here is my entry, and my stop is below the massive sweep. And then I'm literally just targeting, like, let me just grab this trend line. I'm literally targeting either a major high like this or just the internal liquidity here, like these equal highs. Because to me, this is what's going to fuel price moving higher, right? Because people that, made profit on the way down this move, they got their stops sitting up here. You know what I mean? So that's essentially my target liquidity. You can usually get way higher than two to ones with this style of trading. But like if we just play this, we should see that high get taken out. You know what I mean? Like, there you go. So that's basically the first target here. But typically what I'll do on breakout is like I'll just ride it and I'll move my stops up into profit. So that's just one of the strategies. You can do this on any time frame, but it's essentially just like a sweep of a low, taking out stop losses and sell side liquidity, and then a strong reclaim candle. And it has to happen really quick. Like if let's just say price came all the way down here, dude, and then reclaim the level, like you're already far too late. This reclaim here has to happen within like the first 4 to 5 hours, if that makes sense. So that's just one of the styles that I trade. It's really fucking simple, but like I said, you have to be able to fade or bid this aggressive price action, because that's when you're going to get the best risk to reward ratio. For sure, dude, for sure. And like we all get stuck in that, man. Like, because I actually coach beginner traders, bro, and like one of the things I see is that they're always wanting to be in a trade like every single fucking minute. You know what I mean? And especially with breakout, like when you've got these massive account sizes, you start thinking about, okay, if I just make 1% a day, that's $1,000 a day. But the market doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? I'd be lying if I said I didn't, man. Because I'm in Sydney time zone, so I'm on the Asian session, bro. Pretty much the worst fucking session you could ever trade on. Uh, and I'm still on leaderboards and shit. But basically, if I wake up at like 4 in the morning, I always check the market at 4 in the morning because that's usually like prime time. If I see like a low get taken, like I just explained the setup, if I see a massive low get taken and then I fall back asleep and I wake up and it's already fucking, if it's already moved in the direction I would have bought, sometimes I'm like, fuck, should I get in? Am I too late? But the worst thing about that is I've done that a few times, like any trader would. Even if you're a professional trader, you still make big mistakes like that. But your stop loss is just not in a great invalidation point. You know what I mean? So sometimes you'll get tapped out on a small pullback and it'll just go to your target. So put it this way, man, I do deal with FOMO sometimes, especially on prop firm accounts. A little bit less with live capital when I used to trade big live capital. But it's just about controlling it and realizing that, dude, the crypto market's going to give you a setup all the time. You just got to wait. It's a very good question, man. I think it's going to come to a little bit more around like trading psychology and like thinking and probabilities. I think I got this from Mark Douglas. He's like a trading psychology guy. he basically said every moment in the market is like unique. So basically, like, you need to start thinking of the market as random. Because when I was a trader coming up, I used to think that I had a lot of control over what the market was going to do. But like, I became a much better trader when I started removing that control that I thought I had over the market. When I started realizing that I actually can't control price, I can only control the way that I execute at that point. That's when things just started making a lot more sense. You know what I mean? So that's probably not what people want to hear is, start thinking of the market as random, but I'm telling you now, like, it is fucking random. You know what I mean? Like, you have to look at it that way. Yeah. I think I actually think that would be a bit different. Like, that's something that, yeah, it would be, trading's like a removal process. So when I used to trade, like, I used to have rectangles all over the chart. I used to have levels everywhere, like 15 different levels. And I'm like, if one of these hit, I'll jump into the market. So when I started actually like removing stuff out of my strategy and kept it a lot more simple, I became a lot more profitable. So that's like, they sort of tie in together. One's about psychology, one's about actual like execution. I see a lot of traders who have indicators all over their charts. They've got highs and lows marked. They're using like liquidity indicators and everything, and like there's just shit everywhere. But with like Trader Main and all these top guys, like, it's simple, man. It's one rectangle and a high. Like, you really don't need much on your chart to make a good trade. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. But for my personal trading, yeah, my biggest thing is like, I can take on a lot of risk. I have a really high risk appetite, like a lot of crypto people do. Let's be real. So sometimes, yeah. Like, we're all pretty much the same. So one thing about me is like, I like taking larger risk, but especially on breakout accounts, when you've got the 4% drawdown daily, you need to pull that back a little bit. So that's something that I'm dealing with now. It's like, I can be up 10, 15 grand on a funded account, and instead of me clicking process withdrawal, I'm taking a 3% risk. You know what I mean? So there's times where I'll swing for the fences, which I think is actually a positive thing for a traders to do. I don't think you're going to get anywhere as a trader risking 0.25% every trade. I feel like you do need to swing for the fences on A plus setups. That's how you really make a dent in your equity curve. But I will say it can also bite you in the ass, and double-edged sword sort of thing. So one thing I'm working on is just controlling the amount of size I'm taking on B plus setups and just saving it for the A plus. Yeah, so it's more about just controlling the size, dude. Yeah, that's a good question. So I think there's a big difference between how you trade on funded versus evals, especially at the start. So I'll sort of break it down how I feel about it. I feel like prop firm trading, especially with Breakout, is a company that actually fucking pays. Like you guys are the real fucking deal, right? So there is money to be made at Breakout, but you need to start looking at prop firms as like a business, right? So think about your evaluation fee as the investment and the payout as the return on the investment. I feel like a lot of people, they don't think about it that way, and they don't look at it as a business where they're willing to take on risk for a certain amount of time. So I'll explain what I mean. Like, let's just say you're a trader, you've got a 50K account. It costs you $400, whatever it costs, $495. If they lose that account, they start feeling like, oh shit, I've lost $500. But you got to remember, if you were going to go start any other business out there, it's going to cost a lot more than $500 to become successful. So one of the mindset shifts that really helped me with prop firm trading was realizing that the evaluation fee, you need to be able to trade the accounts early on really safe. Like, the only goal for someone starting an evaluation is like, just do whatever it takes to pass it without blowing heaps of them. Once you start getting really profitable, like making massive six-figure payouts and things like that, you've got a lot of profit buffer, so you can start actually taking more risk on the evaluations, because even if you lost 2 or 3, when you get funded and make a payout, you're still going to be ahead. Does that sort of make sense? So I think with a lot of people who are starting an evaluation, don't just jump on the account and do a 3% risk straight away. Like, you need to be able to claw it up really safely and just take better setups. Once you get funded, make a payout. Like, the first thing's about momentum. I feel like once I started making consistent payouts on Breakout, you get into this really confident groove of like, this is actually a place where you can be a really profitable trader. And especially now you guys are moving to A book, like that's even better for profitable traders. You know what I mean? So Yeah, just take it slow the first one. Don't blow too much of your capital trying to swing for the fences early. Secure your first payout, get a little bit of profit buffer, and then you can start being a little bit more wild. That's the advice. So I actually, to be honest, man, like I actually didn't have a great trading month. I think I probably spent about 14K US on evaluations, and I pulled out 60K. So it's still good. Don't get me wrong, but this month I had a few things on that got in like just personal life. Like I had a 30th, and then I went to the country for a few days, and I just wasn't 100% focused. But one thing, it's exactly, bro. So one of the things that I've been doing really well over the past few months is the goal at the start of the month, dude, is just to make as much profit as possible so that I get that momentum, like you said. Because there's nothing worse than at the start of the month, you blow two accounts or you're in drawdown. Like, yeah. Because like it's very hard, like especially for a beginner trader or someone who's just getting the groove. It's all about momentum. Trading, I believe, is like a confidence game, man. Once you start seeing yourself on the leaderboard consistently, like you're gonna be taking it a lot more serious. Like I think I've been on the leaderboard even March, May, yeah, about 4 or 5 times. So, and my goal is still to take the first place, bro. Like that, like that's I'm gonna be at the top spot. But I think just the sweep and reclaim, bro. The simple strategy I showed you, like I just do the same setup, man. I'm not looking to take shorts at the moment on Bitcoin or ETH. Even though the market's falling now, like I wouldn't take the short. I'm just waiting to fade it long. You know what I mean? Like even right now, I'm looking at Bitcoin. It's 15,770. I'm like, there's going to be a trade long today for me. You know what I mean? Like for example, like I'll just do. I know 100% it's coming. Like I'll show you, for example, just one last time. Um, let's get off replay for a sec. Like this low. Oops. So like this 4 hour low here, dude. Once this gets taken out, if I see the trigger, like let's just say there's stops under here, right? Let's just say there's sell stops and like momentum based orders underneath, right? So breakout traders will be going short once that breaks. I'm looking to the left and I'm like, we got all of this imbalance here, right? So if I get something like this today, where price breaks and then reclaims, look at all the liquidity we've got above price. So like I'm really confident in bidding this, put my stop under the sweep and just taking out those highs. So it's like it's a really simple fucking setup, but like a lot of people would be scared to start buying around here because they're like, oh shit, like we've got much lower to go. But we all know, like we're in a bull market, man. Like the pullbacks, when you get them, they're only pretty sharp, right? They're not too big until the end of the bull market. That's what I think. Honestly, guys, like I've been trading almost 10 years now, and I'll be honest with you, when I was trading live capital, even just 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, I didn't believe in prop firms. I used to think it was all garbage. I used to think it was all just bullshit. Like they wouldn't pay you out. Like I heard horror stories. And then when I saw Trader Main and you guys actually start breakout, I was like, well, these guys are legit traders because I've been watching them for years. I know Main's a good trader. He wouldn't put his face behind something that was a scam, right? So I started trading breakout, and literally the first day, I think I made a $3,300 payout, and it hit my wallet that day. And I was like, my whole mindset changed around prop firms. So the number one thing is if you're a prop firm trader, just come to breakout and make it easier on yourself. Like they've never denied one payout. Like I made a 25,000 US payout in one day and it hit my account. You know what I mean? So my biggest advice is make sure you choose the right firm. Make sure you choose a firm that is run by actual fucking traders. That's it.